Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in today's video, we're going to talk about why having boundaries makes you more attractive to women. So let's get right into it. So what are boundaries? Boundaries are simply knowing your needs and your limits and being able to communicate them effectively to those around you. They're also the art of taking responsibility for your own actions and emotions and not placing that responsibility on those around you. Example, what people pleasers do. So why do boundaries make you attractive? Number one, it shows that you respect and value yourself. Having boundaries shows that you respect yourself. No woman is going to respect you if you don't even respect yourself. By setting these boundaries, you show that you respect your time, you show that you respect yourself as a whole, and you aren't just willing to compromise on every single thing for another person. So boundaries show that you respect yourself and your time, but they also solidify identity. It shows extreme authenticity, which is always a really great and attractive quality to have that women look for in a partner. When we aren't able to set boundaries or we don't set boundaries, we blur into relationships. We feel lost, we get lost, we have differing identities depending on the situation we're in, and this is just not attractive. We want someone who can stand their ground and be firm in what they believe, a man who has integrity and who, stands firm in his beliefs and doesn't just waver that depending on the situation or who he's with. When we don't set boundaries, we also let people get away with things that we actually are not okay with, which ends up creating bitterness and resentment in relationships or towards that person that's doing it to you, because what you allow is what's going to continue. And people often let things continue far longer than they should have because they weren't able to set those boundaries, and then they end up in really unhealthy relationships. So doing this from the start is really important. It shows that you respect yourself, it shows that you respect your time, and the other person should respect that too, and if they don't, red flag. Number two, setting boundaries shows that you're comfortable communicating. Being able to effectively communicate what you want and what you need from someone is a key component in any healthy relationship. Your partner isn't a mind reader, so when you're able to be vocal and do things such as setting a boundary, it's going to show that you're a good communicator and that this person can trust you and rely on you and are going to be able in return to do the same. No one wants to be with someone who says something but then does another, and I think it's really important for your words and your actions to match. And when you're comfortable communicating, when you're able to set boundaries, you're going to show that you are a good communicator and you're able to do this. When your actions and your words match, this is going to be an incredibly attractive quality to that other person. And number three is confidence and trust. Having boundaries shows that you have confidence in yourself and you trust yourself to do what is best for you. Because having boundaries shows confidence and the trust that you have in yourself, the people around you are going to be more confident and trusting in you as well, which is obviously attractive for the woman in your life. Women love confidence. This is no surprise. I'm sure you've heard me say this a million times, and I'm sure that you've heard it other places a million times as well. The ability to trust yourself and have confidence in who you are makes other people have more confidence in you as well. It's kind of like a trickle-down effect because the most important relationship you have is the one you have with yourself. And when you have a good foundation with yourself, it kind of sets the stage for every other relationship that you have in your life. And your other relationships can only be as good as the one you have with yourself. And I think setting boundaries is a really healthy part of the relationship you have with yourself. And the ability to do this not only shows immense confidence and good communication skills and an ability to trust yourself and who you are as a person, it makes other people feel that way about you too. And having this confidence and trust in yourself is going to show a low level of neediness or validation from other people, which is something that people pleasers do. It's something that these stereotypical nice guys tend to do, put women up on a pedestal, always say yes, let women walk all over them, which is obviously not attractive at all. So that's why having boundaries is such an important thing and a powerful thing. The power of saying no, the power of respecting yourself is the foundation and first step you need for any healthy relationship. And I also want to cover here why being a people pleaser is so unattractive. Unfortunately, being a people pleaser is a plague that some of us can't seem to escape from. Not only does this negatively affect you personally, but it also has a way of making you actually come across way more unattractive to everyone around you. Think of the stereotypical nice guy. Again, very different than just being a good guy. The stereotypical nice guy and the good guy, very different things. But he's a people pleaser who lets women walk all over him and use him, and this ends up being really unattractive to women. And one reason why this is unattractive is because it shows immense insecurity and low self-esteem. People pleasing often stems from a low view of self and a lack of confidence. And if you're a people pleaser who has low self-esteem and a low view of yourself, you might base how you feel about yourself on the people around you, which is going to not only negatively affect everyone around you, but also mainly yourself. This lack of confidence and not being sure of yourself or who you are creates this neediness and clinginess that we've talked about so many times on this channel as to why it is so unattractive to women. Women do not want to be with a guy who is needy or clingy. This is a surefire way to send a girl running for the hills. So we don't want any needy, clingy behavior here. And often people pleasers suffer from this. It's something that they tend to do, again, because they grasp on everyone around them for the way they feel about themselves, for validation, for attention, and it ends up negatively impacting them in the long run. And that leads me into my last little point here about why, people pleasers are so unattractive is because of this need for validation. The constant need for external validation and approval often becomes an addiction for people, and it just continues to perpetuate the cycle of people pleasing even further. And when it gets to this level, you don't feel good about yourself unless you're getting this external validation and approval and attention from people all of the time. The thought of someone disagreeing with you or not liking you feels like the end of the world, so in return, you just let people walk all over you. You become the guy in the friend zone or the attention and fill-in guy that's just constantly being used by people because you can't stand up for yourself or set healthy boundaries. What you accept and allow is what will continue. So if you don't set these boundaries from the beginning, you're just going to let people treat you poorly and then again develop those feelings of bitterness and resentment like I mentioned earlier in the video, which are not good for you or the people around you. If you really want to cultivate healthy, happy relationships, you have to learn how to set boundaries from the beginning and show up as the most authentic version of yourself. Be the best you that you can be authentic, be confident, be sure of who you are, and have a good purpose and foundation in your life so that you don't question yourself all the time or rely on other people for the way that you feel about yourself. So to wrap this one up here, boundaries make you so much more attractive to women. I know that might be opposite to what you might think in your head, like, oh, if I just agree with her all the time or do whatever she wants me to do, she's going to like me. But that does not help her and it doesn't help you, and often lands you in a place of being used or the friend zone or somewhere that you most certainly do not want to be. So set healthy boundaries. I promise it will make a difference in your life and for the people around you. So if you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. Love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. I've actually been a lot more active over on there. I'm trying to do Q&As on my stories at least 1 or 2 times a week, just to get to as many of your guys' questions as possible. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to give me a follow over there. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.